everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of the CEO Chronicles, where each week we bring with us a charismatic, brilliant CEO who has scaled up their business, telling us how have they scaled it up, their key learnings, and also what interesting are they doing with their lives. So this week, we have the beautiful, the charming, and evergreen Miss Beverly coming up straight from South Africa, Johannesburg, who has not only scaled up her business, by the way, she is the CEO of the Change Makers Academy, and she's going to tell us what is it in some time. She heads a digital marketing company as well, specializing in LinkedIn marketing, and guess what? She only has 2 employees, and she has managed to scale up her business with just that setup. So we're going to be talking about how has she brought about the change that she brings in her business. So welcome aboard on this beautiful journey of CEO Chronicles. Beverly, how are you doing today?
Thank you, Diksha. I really appreciate that. I am truly blessed and yeah, very well indeed. Thank you.
Awesome. So we'll get straight to the point. Beverly, you started your business a few years ago, and today I think you're someone that people really look up to in terms of LinkedIn marketing and how you've grown up your business. You've had so many other companies scale that up. So let's talk about your own brand. What are the key strategies that you used to grow your brand and to bring it where it is today?
Thank you. Thank you. That's a very good question, and a very useful question as well for your viewers. I apply exactly the same skills that I employ in my digital marketing agency to grow my own business. And that is fundamentally understanding who your client is. So who exactly are you serving? What is it that you can do for them? So what is the problem that you're solving for them? And to do that consistently, reliably, and to the highest possible standard, and reach the market. So I think the challenge for many people is they tend to focus too wide. They try to be everything to everybody. What I've done is to find CEOs, that's my target market, CEOs, CFOs, and how can I help them solve their problem?
So what key problem are you solving for the CEOs, CFOs, and the C-level executives that you're targeting?
So many companies, so I don't focus in terms of big corporates. My target market is small to medium-sized enterprises. And the biggest challenges that they face, or the biggest challenge, is they want to take their business to the next level. I mean, I just hear that all the time. Take it to the next level. And what people don't understand is the level they are at currently. So where are you now? Where do you want to be? What have you done to get where you are now? And how can I help you get to where you are? So often it starts with reassessing where they are currently. What are the most productive or profitable lines in your current business, your product lines? How can we reach your target market with those lines? Because often what people want to do is throw a lot of marketing money at product lines that are not even generating profits. So again, it's helping them reassess where they are in order to build a solid foundation to move forward. And that's what I've done in my own business as well.
So, I mean, I absolutely love what you are talking about, because especially with digital marketing, and let's actually talk about service-based industries as such, whether it's accounting firms, consultancy firms, or whatever, we tend to say, listen, everyone's our customer. Okay. And that is where I think things go wrong, because when we're not specific, when we don't really identify who we can work with and what is the exact result that we can bring, a result that is tangible, not just saying that, hey, you know what, we can take your business to the next level. What level? and how are you going to be doing it? So I think that that is really important, to actually focus on one particular niche and then take things up. Beverly, how many years ago did you start your business?
I started in 2016, so
7 years.
6, 7 years ago.
Okay. And of course, I actually want to know, when you started off, what was the journey like? So as in, were you with a team, or were you single when you started, a solopreneur, and then you took people on? What was it like when you just started off in 2016?
So I've been working in big corporates for, well, most of my life. And when I started as a solo entrepreneur. So, and I started with a skill set that I had. So I've been in education for over 30 years in strategic positions. So director of learning, innovation, and strategy. And I looked at who could be an ideal client, but it was just me. I didn't have any staff. And I think it's like an MVP. The minimum viable product is me initially, and it is to test the water before you scale. Test the water and say, this product or service that I'm offering, and my service was to big education companies, to say, can I help them with their strategy and think through their strategy? And before really expanding, I went out and tested that with many companies to say, is there a market for what I have to offer?
Interesting. So first is about testing the market, going out there and checking out. So I mean, I think lean startup models are the best way to go forward, just to see, just to check what is in the market, what's working, what's not working. A lot of us don't do it. We just feel that, oh my God, this particular business is profitable, let's just jump into it, and not realizing what exactly we have to offer. But you know what, Beverly, whenever we run a business, there comes this one particular year, which was basically the breakthrough year, which brings about the change that, we've always been looking for. And then there are certain strategies that kind of, like, change the way, we've been doing business so far. Which year was that for you, that actually changed things, and what were certain strategical changes that led to that breakthrough year?
The breakthrough year was actually 2018. And it weirdly enough, is exactly what we're speaking about here. When you're a small business starting out on your own, you're desperate. And come on, it's like, okay, wow, I really have to make this work. And the tendency is very big to try be everything to everybody. The difference in 2018 is two things. Number one, narrowing my focus in terms of who I was targeting. And secondly, confidence. It is the confidence that I did have value to share, that people were willing to pay me for that value. When I decided not to underestimate the value of what I could deliver, because the two challenges I encountered initially is, number one, trying to be everything to everyone, and number two, charging too little for my services. And 2018 for me was about, okay, yes, this part of the market is a market I really can deliver value to. I can deliver significant value to other CEOs, helping them rethink and re-strategize their business. And actually, they are willing to pay me this. We tend to be nervous. We undervalue the value of what we can offer. And 2018 for me really was a year in which I feel as though I came into my own, I built confidence, and I realized the value I can offer for a very particular market.
So I think that this is one big challenge that a lot of people undergo, especially entrepreneurs, is pricing for the right audience. Because you know what, see, let's understand. We have this myth that to scale up the business, we need to have more sales and we need like a huge team to, ensure the deliverables are met and so on and so forth. But I have, with my experience, and I think even listening to your story, realized that scaling up has got very little to do with increase in sales. Okay. And I mean, one of the most ignored aspects is basically increasing our pricing and understanding the value that we are offering, and then maybe increasing the sales and increasing the prices together. So there's not so much burden on sales as such. Okay. Being creative people, often we're not able to put down a price to, the insights or the services we're offering. Has upselling yourself or increasing the prices of your services affected the number of clients you've been dealing with?
Yes, absolutely. And it's about strategic decision making. I think the challenge for many business owners and CEOs is they're not intentional enough about who they want as a client. And so I started with drawing a line in the sand in terms of how much I want to earn per hour. Because it's a very slippery slope in terms of the amount of money you earn per hour. And I said, okay, I don't want to earn less than 1,500 Rand per hour. Okay, now when you translate it into dollars, you're like, yeah, cheap. Yes, but in rands,
Of course,
it isn't.
In rands, it's different, 100%.
So 1,500 Rand per hour. Now, what is the sort of client that is willing to pay me 1,500 Rand an hour for the type of service and value that I'm going to deliver? That's my ideal client, because I don't want to work with 100 people a month.
Sure.
I want to work with as few people as possible that are willing to pay me the amount of money I want to earn, doing what I love so that I can deliver exceptional value to them. It's a win-win relationship. I would far rather work with 10 good clients. What is a good client? Somebody who is prepared to pay me what I want to earn, somebody who will pay me consistently, and a long-term sustainable relationship. I'd rather have 10 clients like that than 100 clients where they give me, I mean, it's usually the people who pay you the least.
Yes, that give you the most headache. Yes, yes.
True. It's just not worth having. And also, if you create a model, you can amortize it. In other words, if I need to create a unique model with a lot of different types of customers, it's a huge amount of time, energy, and effort, and time is money. If I can create a model that I can replicate, like LinkedIn marketing for CEO, CFO in small to medium tier enterprises, that's an easily replicatable model. I don't need to create new stuff on an ongoing basis that takes time, energy, and effort. Now I'm generating a higher return per hour because I'm not needing to replicate things. Does that mean I've created a system that I can replicate?
Understood. But, with all these technological advancements coming up with AI and, people doing things differently, you have so much even going on LinkedIn. Let's say, you have these softwares that are sending outbound messages and so on and so forth. So how do you then, you said that you have a standardized model. How do you, in that case, manage to deliver consistently to the same customer without changing your model much, without integrating all these cool elements into, your offerings?
Well, when it comes to LinkedIn, so there are many different things that you can automate. LinkedIn is not one of them. LinkedIn, if you use a bot or whatever the case on LinkedIn, you're gone. It is about being able to deliver. And I think here is a huge advantage in the world that is moving towards AI, is personal relationships. This is what AI, yes, maybe AI will be able to do it at a point. But what makes me different from so many people is that I build meaningful relationships on LinkedIn for my clients with their most ideal clients. Meaningful relationships that deliver value. And for some things, you can't use bots and engines. And this is where the team that I have on board, that is what they are doing. They're not doing the things that machines can do and that are easily replicatable. There, I've got technology. But when it comes to certain things, the value of people that you trust is about building meaningful relationships. And so that's what the people in my business do, is have conversations on LinkedIn, respond to what people are saying, wish them happy birthday, wow, well done on that promotion. It's talking to them as people, giving them a sense of, hey, here's somebody I can really trust. I'd like to do business with them.
Absolutely. 100%. And I think, let's just say with technology, this is what I've been facing as well in my own firm. Technology cannot bring in expertise. Okay, like in the sense, if I'm actually going to ChatGPT and I'm writing, I need 100-word write-up on this particular topic, it's going to give me what has been fed into it. It's not going to give me stuff like what you are saying, because what you're saying is from experience. It is not from, what we've learned. So brilliant, very nice. Now I think this is going to be my groundbreaking question. The same thing that I started my conversation with, that you have 2 employees, full-time employees, and you're doing great at what you do. And haven't you ever felt the need of expanding a full-time team? And I'll elaborate on this a bit, because when you're dealing with partners, when you're dealing with freelancers or even agencies and so on, they have their own limitations in terms of time, in terms of commitment, sometimes they're not taking a call, sometimes they're not available, sometimes they have their hands full, and so on and so forth. Okay, in that case, when you have some urgent client requirements, sometimes you feel that I wish I had someone full-time to do it. And that is the point where I think most entrepreneurs go like, okay, bang, let me just give a call, let me start hiring, okay, and let me expand my team. Why is it that you chose not to expand your team, number one? And second, haven't you felt the need to go beyond 2 employees?
Definitely not. No. So the secret, she moves closer, is you are always building a team. Whether you have 2 full-time employees, or whether you have 100 full-time employees, you're always building a team. The challenge with having those full-time employees is you have a fixed skill set that you pay a fixed cost for. What I have the benefit of is a variable cost with variable skill sets depending on what I need at any point in time. I'm not paying for a resource I don't need at a particular time, and especially a resource that for a particular client requirement, it might not actually be the skill set I need. So let's take copywriting as an example. So for my clients, we're posting articles every single week. I haven't employed a full-time copywriter. Instead, I've got 4 copywriters. So if I need an article about politics, I know I'm going to go to a particular copywriter. If I need a warm and fuzzy article about more emotive type of things, I know I'm going to go to a different copywriter. Now, I've tested those copywriters over time. So I know these are copywriters that deliver the sort of work at the quality that I need. And yes, there will always be a time where I say, we need to tweak and adjust this. Nothing is ever perfect. We're human. The people you use, whether they are full-time employees or whether they are a team of people that you have on a contract basis, you need to build that team. You need to create clarity with that team in terms of what your requirements are. There isn't some magical wand you wave and people are going to know what you want, and you need to build and nurture the team. I just prefer to build and nurture that team remotely. It gives me time flexibility as well. In South Africa, and I'm sure around the world, there's a lot of difficulty around having full-time employees, a lot of legal regulations and whatever. I just don't want to go. So for me, it works really, really, really well to be able to source the type of resources I need at a particular time without having to pay full-time.
I think what you've shared is amazing, because yes, it does give you, that flexibility, and you can deploy experts to take care of certain things. There are pros and cons of having a diversified team as well. So now we're coming on to something that you are truly passionate about, which is sustainable career building. Okay. So obviously, we've, in our previous conversations, we have talked about how we have these young entrepreneurs coming out, and because of obvious reasons, because of economical changes across the globe, we have so many redundancies happening. So we will see a rise, and rather, I think we are even witnessing a rise in people increasingly coming into business. And unfortunately, not with the right skill set. Okay, that can actually earn them a sustainable income for a long time. And of course, while saying this, we do have a huge audience that actually focuses on becoming doctors and engineers, thinking that if I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be slogging for 5, 6, maybe 7 years of my life, and then everything will be fine. I will be okay. I'll be sorted for life. Okay. How relevant is this perception? Number one. And number two, what can young entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, or people even in their college or the universities do to build a sustainable career for themselves?
Awesome questions. Yeah, I speak to many, many, many people a day, young entrepreneurs, people in business, doctors, dentists, professional people. And probably one of the key things that strikes me is brainwashing. And you're like, brainwashing? Most people, and it's a function of our education.
Yeah.
Most people are brainwashed into one thing: look for a job. One thing. And I'm not saying a job is a bad thing. I'm saying it is our responsibility to just say to people, when you are evaluating your options, evaluate your options more broadly. We all know the world has changed. Volatility has gone through the roof. Predictability, there is no such thing as predictability anymore. Senior executives of companies are being retrenched like that. So and now you're a senior executive of a company, you get retrenched. What are your your chances in this world of finding another job that pays you what you get at the moment, it's limited. I would like to encourage people to do two things. Explore more broadly in terms of the options open to you. So let's look at kids leaving school. It's not just a job. It's not just, your own business in the traditional sense of just look at all the options available to you and evaluate them. The other thing is skills aren't nearly as important as mindset, resilience, and persistence. Mindset is so important. I mean, we live in this instant gratification economy. I mean, you ask most kids coming out of school nowadays what they want to be. An influencer. What? It is, they want immediate gratification. They want to become an influencer overnight without doing the work. So I really would like to talk to people as well about resilience, persistence, and, just focus on 10 years, 20 years to say, what do I want my life to look like? Who do I want to become? And how can I reverse engineer that? So, yes, I mean, doctors and lawyers, great. Your focus is narrow, fantastic. Go for it. Do you want to go and work at a hospital? Do you want to work in a practice? Brilliant. You have vision in terms of what you want for your life.
Yeah.
If you are unsure about what it looks like, explore broadly and don't expect overnight success. Be prepared to do the work to get the results. I know it sounds stupid, but I cannot tell you how many people, this is why so many people get scammed.
Yes.
Because they want immediate results without any time, energy, and effort.
That's true.
Did that answer your question, Diksha?
It does. It does. But I also want to know. Let's now talk about some of the skills that we think, or maybe you think. Let's put it more in that sense, that are going to be relevant in the coming future. That young graduates or entrepreneurs should be looking into developing, exploring, and maybe practicing.
The sort of skills are mainly thinking skills. So it is the ability to, so we've touched on one of them already, the ability to look at a range of information presented to you, analyze that information, and make a decision and take action. Many people, it's analysis paralysis, assess, look. Never make a decision, never take action. It is the ability to assess options. I saw a brilliant video today of a woman saying, people keep asking me about how do I find my passion. She says, pick 20 things and go and do them. And then you are in a better position to assess, what are you good at? What did you love? What did you not enjoy? It is action creates clarity.
Absolutely.
So it is, many people are waiting to become confident before they do something. Confidence comes from doing. So it's all those thinking skills. They call them 21st century skills. It is researching skills. It is analysis skills. It is communication skills. It is about how do I speak to people? How do I engage with people? Leadership skills. If you are running a business, this is the CEO Chronicles after all, it is not the skill of telling. I chatted to the most incredible chap recently about the brain and using the brain. And he said the art of leadership is the art of shutting up and listening. Because if you think about leadership, the more you tell people, the less responsibility you're giving them for doing their job. Oh, but you didn't tell me that I must do that. If you give more people more responsibility.
Autonomy, so, yeah, on certain things, yes.
It's the continuum between responsibility and accountability. The more tightly you hold the reins as a leader, the less responsibility you give people and the less accountable they're going to be. Let go of the reins. Let them take the reins and be accountable. What do you think we should do in this situation, as opposed to go and do this? And you know what? We want stuff done and we want it done now, and we're impatient, and therefore we tell. It's a short-term strategy, but it means you have to keep telling to get the result. If you want to go away and be on holiday, things are going to fall apart because you weren't there to tell.
Of course, of course.
So it's those set of leadership thinking, communication, analysis, research. These are the skills we need to embed in people in schools and embed employees as well. But where does it come from? It comes from the people who lead.
Yes, it comes from the top. So, you
Absolutely.
know, I mean, what I have experienced particularly in this whole conversation about leadership skills that you mentioned, I do come across a lot of people who say, oh, you know what, why don't you tell me, what do you think? And then the other person says, okay, you know, this is what they're thinking. They're like, oh no, but this, but that, but this. And then, you know what, I think it is this, and let's do this. So, you know, we're just overtly only showing to the other person that, you know, we want their opinions, but ultimately we're doing what's in our head. Okay. I personally feel that sometimes when you're in a position to take that risk, we should be willing to let the other person follow what he really has in mind. Because even if things fall or things go south, I mean, depending on how big the risk would be, but even if things go south, at least he would learn that, you know, okay, fine, this is how I need to do, and this is how my opinion has manifested and into reality, and this is how things go. But God willing, if things fall in place, then it's going to be so super amazing and encouraging for the employee. That is something that, you know, I think as entrepreneurs, right, we're so personal with our businesses, we're so attached, you know, this whole thing, oh, this is my baby, I need to bring it up the way I have envisioned it, and so on. And that whole possessive attitude does not let us let go of, you know, the reins, and, you know, let things happen. And unfortunately that is the case. So yeah, you're saying something.
Interesting perspective on that is, and when I say it to you, you will think it is so logical, but yet we don't do it. So let's take a big corporate, because I'm sure many people, many of the CEOs who watch us are in big corporates.
Yes.
You hire somebody, oh, it doesn't matter what size corporate, you hire somebody who is very talented in a particular field to do a particular job. Do you, A, let them employ their incredible talent so that you get that full benefit of the reason you hired them in the first place? Or do you tell them what you want to do, you want them to do, so that you keep getting the same result you're getting currently?
So I'd like to do the former, but I end up doing the latter. I'll be honest. Because the thing is, you know, you just see, whenever you hire someone, especially with me, and I'm speaking from experience, when you hire someone, you're all like, would he really know what needs to be done? Does he know how I take care of my clients? Will he be able to match the expectations I have set? So let me just, you know, not have any ambiguity, and let me just tell him exactly what needs to be done.
Better. And this is where listening is so important, is to say, maybe, just maybe, they could do it better than you could. But because you never actually gave them the opportunity to, because it's panic. What we need to do is change our posture. We are like this. We hunched over our business. We like this. What we need to be is this. We need to say, I must trust that I have my recruiting has been good because I've tried to find a person that will deliver exceptional value in a particular role. And I've actually wanted to get somebody who is better than me at it. You cannot be equally good in everything.
Sure.
You want to hire an exceptional salesperson. But if you're now going to tell that exceptional salesperson what to do, you will bring them down to the level of your sales ability. You're going to bring everything down to your level. Whereas in fact, the true benefit of a team is having people who are specialists in their field who tell you. The best video I've ever watched on this is actually Steve Jobs. He says, why do you employ these people if you're going to bring them down to your level? You, and Elon Musk is another person that speaks of this. He says, you want to hire the best and the brightest so that they can tell you, not so that you can tell them.
Makes sense. Makes absolute sense. So now I'm coming to an emotional question. Okay. Entrepreneurial journey is not easy. You know, we have our ups and we have our downs. There are days when we don't earn anything. There are days when we do a lot better than what we had expected. So far, ever since 2016, since you have started, we're in 2023 now. Have you ever felt like giving up?
No. No, because what's the alternative? To go back into corporate. I started my own business because I had a vision for my life. And that vision is about making a difference, and a difference in my life and a difference in the lives of others. I will never give up on that dream. And whether you work in a corporate, always treat it as if it was your business. You know, people say that, treat it as if it was your business. I promise you, if you actually treated it as if it was your business, it will change, number one, the way in which you feel when you go to work, and it will change the way in which you perceive. You will probably get ahead way better, way quicker than you do currently. Giving up is not an option. Imagine a baby crawling when it's learning to walk, and it stands up and it falls down and it hits its head on the table. If the baby said, oh, you know, this walking thing, it probably just isn't for me, we'd all still be crawling.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, it is hard. Yes, it is probably going to be really, really difficult. But you know what? Being poor is hard. Becoming rich is hard. Choose your heart.
Nice one. That's a genuinely nice
Not
one.
mine. Grant Cardone. I stole it from Grant Cardone, who is a very inspirational entrepreneur. But doesn't that make sense? I mean, is being poor easy? Is working in a job you hate easy? No. Change your mindset to it. You know what? If you cannot change the job now, change your mindset to it. Change how you engage with it. You know, it's easy for you. No, it isn't. Come on. Do you want to be miserable going to your job every day?
Yep.
No, then choose not to be. How can you change your mindset about the things that are happening in your life? Notice I'm not saying what happens to you. It's not happening to you. That's like some plot. It is happening. How you choose to respond changes the situation completely. You're driving in traffic. Somebody cuts you off. Road rage. Or, it's okay, go ahead. I have changed the way in which I respond to something that happened in my environment.
Yeah.
You control your life by the decision and the choices you make. Don't try to fool yourself that it's somebody else, because then you are a leaf in the wind, a victim of circumstance.
True. Rightly said. My last question comes as a definition of success. So why am I saying this? You've worked in Pearson's, you've worked in, all such big corporates. And I'm 100% sure you would be withdrawing a good salary back then. I mean, if I was to fast forward things to 7 years, and let's say in 2023, if you were still working there, you would be earning a really, really good package there. And of course, then there are people that they would obviously be saying that, why do you really need to slog so much for your business? Why do you have to go dig the well, fetch, the bucket of water each day and, go water plants and so on? Why do you need to do all this effort? And then there's this definition of success that, if you're rich, you're wealthy, you have a flashy office, you have 10 employees, 200 employees, you're traveling countries, you are successful. So do you think we're all living in a brainwashed mentality where people are defining success for us and rather not allowing us to come up with our own definitions?
Very interesting language you use there. You get to choose. At the end of the day, you get to choose. Don't let anyone else define success for you. What is my definition of success? Am I happy? Am I making a difference? The bigger the difference I make, the more money I will make. I don't start with how much money do I want to make. I start with who do I want to make the biggest difference to, and the money will come. So I do not define my success by the money. I define my success by the difference that I'm making, by happiness. Yes, I may be able to earn more in Pearson than I did, that I'm making my business now. Well, I earn more now, but maybe I could have earned more in Pearson, but it wouldn't have allowed me to achieve what I want to do. I don't have to work in my business every day. I get to. I don't have to do anything. I mean, Terry, what's the guy? I can't think of his surname now. I posted a video recently about this. If you changed that word in your vocabulary and don't say, I have to. I get to. I get to take my mother to the doctor. I get to work in my business. I get to go to my job. How many people don't have a job? You get to go to a job. How many people don't have a house? You get to live in a small little flat. Some people are living on the street.
Yes.
So I define my success by, am I happy? Am I making a difference? Do I have enough money that allows me to live comfortably? I don't need to drive a Porsche. I don't need to live in a mansion. I don't need to. So stop defining success by the rules others would implement on you if you chose to allow them to. Realize you are responsible for your life. You get to define success, and then you get to create it by what you do consistently on a daily basis. You are the product of your daily habits. Look at your daily habits and look at the life it is creating. If you want to change that life and create success, change your daily habits.
Absolutely. Well, Beverly, it was a fantastic conversation. I mean, we touched on so many interesting topics, right from talking about scaling up with limited employees, starting small, growing big, focusing on a particular niche, building up sustainable careers, and of course, in the end, talking about defining success for yourselves as a measure of happiness. It's not about what you have outside, it's about what you have inside. If you have enough time to manage things around, if you're living a balanced life, you're happy, that's about it. So there's nothing more outward to chase there. So brilliant stuff. Yes.
And you always have time. How come some people create incredible things in 24 hours? They don't have more time. You always have time if you're prepared to make time. The key is, what are you spending your time on? Don't complain about the life you have. Look at how you're spending your time currently and do different things with your time to create the life you really want. And size of business doesn't matter. The same basic rules apply to your life, to your business, to a corporate.
Very nice. Well, viewers, if you would like to get in touch with Beverly, you can do so on LinkedIn. Just type her full name down, send her a DM, connect with her. And another way of getting in touch with her is going to changemakersacademy.com, and you will be able
co.za.
Sorry, co.za. I'll be putting up the link in the description box.
Excellent, thank you.
So you will be able to reach out to her and change the way you do business. Up until next week, here's a goodbye from my side. And I promise we're going to be back with another brilliant CEO that you can learn heaps and loads from. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you so much, Beverly, for being on our show. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and thank you to everyone for listening.
Thank you.